I love the iPhone 15 Pro, and here's why.
Wait, really? Hi, I'm Upwards, and I've been using the iPhone 15 Pro for some time. Now, I'm pretty sure you've all heard about all the new features on the iPhone 15 Pro, which, to be exact, isn't many. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about why I believe people go back to the iPhone year after year, regardless of the amount or lack of changes introduced to each iPhone, and why I personally love the iPhone. Now let's talk about cameras. The biggest reason why I choose the Pro models over the standard iPhone models is definitely the cameras. And it's also the first reason why I believe people stick to the iPhone. Each upgrade improves the iPhone experience. Yes, the design might look the same, and it might feel the same as well. But every year, Apple puts a significant upgrade into their cameras, and this year is even bigger. Let's start with video. Okay, I've now switched over to filming on my iPhone, and let me explain how this works. Alright, so one of the first major differences when it comes to video on the iPhone 15 Pro is the ability to shoot in log. Now, log is a video format that allows you to have a lot more capabilities in post-production, especially when it comes to color grading and dynamic range. Shooting in log means the iPhone 15 Pro can capture more information about the dynamic range and the colors, which is awesome for color grading. And it also removes that over-sharpened shot on phone look, instead giving a much more natural and pleasing image, which also looks a bit more comparable to mirrorless cameras. Now, the next biggest difference for video on the iPhone is that with the improved larger sensor, you do get a bit more of a bokeh or background blur around the subject when it's closer to the camera. For example, now you can see that there's a bit more of a blur around my face, which looks more pleasing and is also a bit more comparable to mirrorless cameras. Also, the Blackmagic camera app gives you more capabilities and access to pro features like you would have on a normal mirrorless camera on the iPhone. For example, being able to choose the shutter speed, the white balance, the frame rate, and so much more all on one app, which is so much better than the normal camera app. And in fact, this app was used for the Apple event, which they filmed on the iPhone. And with the iPhone 15 Pro, you can choose between 3 different lens options, from a 77 to a 24 or a 13mm. So I can go ultra wide like this, or really far like this. And you can also shoot on a selfie camera, which makes filming vlogs a bit more better since you can see yourself now. Now, the stabilization on the iPhone 15 Pros is pretty impressive, and it's also pretty comparable to most mirrorless cameras, which is pretty awesome for filming on the go. But shooting on iPhones has its limitations. For one, there's no ND filters, which means that you do have to bump up your shutter speed, giving that choppy look. Number 2, shooting in log also heats up the iPhone considerably, and after about 5 minutes, the iPhone 15 Pro is already pretty hot. Which also leads to the third point. It takes up a lot of storage. The reason why it's getting so hot is because it's taking in a lot of data, which also leads to huge massive files. For example, a 5-minute clip in log 1080p took about 3 GB of space. And lastly, it drains a lot of battery life. After about 15 minutes of filming, I had already lost 10%. Now, when it comes to photos on the iPhone 15 Pro, the iPhone 15 Pro does really well whether it's at night or in daytime, and this is where the next biggest update to the cameras on the iPhone 15 really shines. All the iPhone 15s now shoot in 24 megapixel for all standard photos, which means you get double the resolution that we're used to when we were shooting on 12 megapixels on the older iPhones and below. Having the exact same snappiness and performance that we had while shooting 12 megapixel photos, but now on 24 megapixel photos, is a much appreciated upgrade. It means that we get more detailed shots and better definition without compromising on performance or shutter lag. Not to mention that Apple has also found out a way to reduce the file size, even though it's technically double the resolution. Taking a look at the 3 different sensors on the iPhone 15 Pro, the 24mm is a pretty good bet for pretty much every situation. But the 13mm ultra-wide camera is also pretty awesome and also has autofocus, which also means you can take macro shots when you want to get up close, and it gives you more flexibility. When we look at the telephoto lens, it has always been a great addition to the Pro lineup of cameras, always giving you that extra depth and reach when you need it. Without sacrificing quality, the telephoto lens also doubles as a portrait camera, which also gives you that better depth of perspective and field when you're shooting portraits. The cameras on the iPhone constantly get better every year, and improve in a significant way that enhances the iPhone experience. So much so, other Android competitors struggle to keep up.
And that is why I love the iPhone 15 Pro. The next reason why people stick to iPhones is because of performance. And performance on the iPhones is no joke. The A17 Pro chip is, let's be honest, boring. Every year Apple always claims that the next chip is 20% faster than this task and 30% faster than this application, but to most people, that doesn't really matter. However, little gains every single year does add up, and the A17 Pro chip still has the fastest performing CPU out of any mobile phone that you can buy today, surpassing the Snapdragon and the Dimensity chips by a long mile.
When it comes to gaming on the A17 Pro chip, it's not its biggest strength. That's where the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 wins up here. However, gaming is still pretty impressive on the iPhones, and no matter what game you play, you can expect some pretty good performance across the board. For me, I do a lot of internet browsing, social media work, and photo editing, so having a phone that I know will have the performance headroom that will last for several years and get the job done reliably and quickly is why I think the iPhone is perfect for me.
Whenever you get the latest iPhone, you can trust that you're going to get the best performance and a phone that's going to last for years to come. These chips are built to last and are ultra snappy, which is why people buy the iPhone and why I love it too.
Taking a look at the display on the iPhone 15 Pro, there are some refinements worth noting. The borders on the screen has been significantly reduced, making the iPhone 15 Pro look a bit more sleek and more modern. Taking a look at the tech on the iPhone 15 Pro's display, there isn't too many differences this year. We still have the same 120Hz refresh rate screen, or promotion as Apple calls it, the always on display, which also has the new trick, standby mode, and the ultra bright up to 2000 nits display. I believe that the iPhone 15 Pro is the most refined display Apple has ever made on any of their iPhones, apart from Dynamic Island, which when Apple removes it, I believe will be the last thing to make a perfect display. When it comes to battery life performance on the iPhone 15 Pro, it's pretty good, but not amazing. I still managed to squeeze out 5 hours of screen on time, and that was while I was filming in loft, which is super demanding, using this phone in direct sunlight, which enabled the 2000 nits of brightness, and also while filming to external USB stick. Doing all of these things while getting 5 hours of screen on time is pretty impressive to me.
Design is a pretty important part of phones these days, and I do think that the iPhone 15 Pro has a very low-key vibe going on, which I really like. The blue titanium finish looks great, and the slight curves around the phone makes the phone comfortable to hold. The switch to titanium does make the phone feel lighter in the hand as well. USB-C allows me to use so many more accessories than before, making the iPhone ready for filming. When it comes to design, people keep sticking to the iPhone for a refined, minimal, and recognizable look. Yes, it's boring, but honestly, who cares? If it makes the iPhone experience better, I'm for it. If there's no need to change anything, don't change it.
The iPhone 15 Pro is the most refined iPhone to date, and personally, it's the most exciting and the best iPhone I've ever used. It is pretty much the complete package with no extra wants, and it fits my needs perfectly, and most people's needs as well. From the cameras to the performance, the iPhone 15 Pro is pretty much perfect.
And that's why I love the iPhone 15 Pro. Thanks for watching this video. I'm Upwards, and I'll see you guys in the next video.